Hi, I'm Nathan, with this week's Science and Tech News. Scientists at the European Space Agency, or ESA, are jumping for joy because comet lander Philae is waking up from a 7-month nap and beaming amazing data to Earth. Last year, the Rosetta carrier ship from the ESA became the first comet-orbiting spacecraft ever, flying side-by-side 34,000 miles per hour with a comet called 67P. Then the Rosetta released its Philae lander, which successfully survived a 7-hour descent to actually land on the comet. Unfortunately, Philae's battery ran out soon after landing. But really it ran out of juice because it ended up in a place too shady to get sunlight for solar power. It was bad enough to make the Energizer Bunny facepalm. But now it's had a huge whiff of sunlight, like Superman waking up from a bad case of kryptonite, and the Philae is ready for action. So, what exactly is a comet? Well, the asteroids hurtling through space are usually made up of metals and minerals, while comets are like enormous dirty snowballs filled with ice, rocky materials, dust, and frozen gases. The comet that Philae landed on has a 2.5-mile wide surface, with cliffs, plains, and big cracks in it. Like all comets, it's also filled with leftover parts from the birth of our solar system 4.6 billion years ago that didn't end up being used in planet formation. The Rosetta mission is going to examine these ancient materials to unlock the icy secrets of cosmic history, and the 6.5-year orbit of the Rosetta spacecraft will eventually see it go way past Jupiter, where Eddie Redmayne is chilling with a bunch of flying lizards. When the comet gets near the sun, scientists are hoping to get some up-close data on the icy melting process that occurs. Once those fiery temperatures hit the comet's core, it creates an ultra-bright halo effect, and the huge dusty tail that we often associate with these starry tourists. SpaceX and Tesla Motors founder Elon Musk loves to make science fiction a reality, and now he's running a Hyperloop pod racing competition for students to make a train that can transport people from coast to coast in 45 minutes. Is this Hyperloop all just a loopy hype? Given Musk's track record with building reusable rocket ships and incredible all-electric cars, I'm betting on the real-life Tony Stark.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
His futuristic train is designed to work inside a long tube, which can be above ground or underwater, and will use magnets to levitate in midair. Since the train's not attached to anything, there is no wind resistance or friction to slow it down. It works kind of like an air hockey table. The puck can float on air and move much faster across the table because there is less friction. The difference with this train is that the magnets hold it up, and your cat's less likely to get hit by a renegade air hockey puck. Musk is thinking big with this project and wants to eventually build a Hyperloop strong enough to send people from New York to China in 2 hours. Say what? Now he's asking for help from inventive students with a competition to build and design pods for the Hyperloop. It's like a Star Wars pod racer's dream come true. Minus Jar Jar Binks.
Crazy!
Final designs will be submitted in December and presented to a panel of university professors and SpaceX engineers in January. So, what are you waiting for? Get those Lego blocks and crayons ready for the future of transportation. It looks like man's best friend will only be nice to its master's best friends, because a study found that dogs refused food from people who were unkind to their owners. Japanese dog researchers tested 3 groups of 18 dogs with some role-playing situations where the owners had to open a box with a stranger's help. In some groups, the owners were offered assistance by the stranger. In others, they were actively refused help. There were also strangers who did nothing and just watched. When dogs who witnessed the role-playing were offered food from the strangers, they were far more likely to accept the tasty treat from the helpful ones, rather than the meanies.
You idiot!
They were even more likely to take it from the neutral strangers than the unkind ones. The study sheds light on social cooperation among animals, which is ultra rare and is a trait found mainly in humans, dogs, and primates. Hey! So, next time your buddy asks for help with his dog watching you, you'd better assume that loyal canine is keeping a close eye on your next move. A volcano is definitely not man's best friend, as thousands of Indonesians flee Mount Sinabung's eruption faster than a crowd running from Godzilla.
It's Godzilla!
After being dormant for 400 years, it roared to life as an active volcano back in 2010, and has been belching out more toxic fumes than someone who drank way too much Pepsi. Last Monday, there were 28 pyroclastic flows of hot ash and gas running down the mountain at high speeds, and the danger alert's been raised to an all-time highest level. Thousands of people have been evacuated as the volcano is on the verge of a massive explosion. Volcanoes are formed when the Earth's tectonic plates rub up against one another and release pressurized magma in a fiery blast of lava. Indonesia happens to be home to a whopping 129 active volcanoes. And you thought Middle-earth's Mount Doom was a bad place to live. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, Indonesia is located in a region known as the Ring of Fire.
The Ring of Fire.
Unlike the Johnny Cash song, this Ring of Fire is a basin around the Pacific Ocean, where earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are extremely common. The ash and gaseous fumes sent into the sky can also threaten thousands of flights around the world.
She's starting to shudder. She's starting to shudder.
How bad is it, sir?
It's not good, but at least she's not beginning to crack up.